Hey guys, what's up? Toboloco here. Welcome back to our Subscriber World Cup, the final one of the year. It is the Christmas Subscriber World Cup or your December World Cup if you don't celebrate Christmas. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, and I'm doing this a little bit in advance. Usually I release this like a day or two before Christmas, but this time I decided to do it like 5 days or 6 days before Christmas, whenever this comes out. So your Subscriber World Cup for December, we have a double Subscriber World Cup this time round. Just two little side notes. One, there will be no Subscriber World Cup in January because I am away in January. Yes, the entirety of January I am away. So put your entries in for either February or March, depending on what happens in February or whatever. But yeah, I'll be back in the UK in February. And secondly, there were two people that missed out on this Subscriber World Cup, and I do apologize to those two people. I didn't have enough entries for 3 Subscriber World Cups, unfortunately, so we only have the 2, and unfortunately 2 people missed out. So I do very much apologize for that. If you want to attach yourself to another team, you can do, but yeah, let's just read out the names then and see who has participated, and let's butcher your names for the final time in 2024. So Georgia is represented by JC Eurovision Fan, El Salvador is Arado, Bolivia is Johns Casa, and Hong Kong is Marshy YT. Iraq is represented by Wolf Danalf, Botswana represented by McDamon. The Bahamas is represented by Henry the Brit and Bryant Jimenez, and Syria is also a double entry between Anonymous and St. Mark. Group C, we have New Zealand represented by 3 people, Declan Gaming, 6 Peeps, and Sergiant Net. Latvia is represented by Rory. Macedonia is represented by Lucky Diamond. In Group D, we have Cape Verde Island, which is another triple entry between North Wolf Rising, Seth Hernandez, and Tanya Kernahan. Paraguay represented by Grubby Coach, Guyana represented by Mr. Krabs, and Bulgaria represented by Velco. In Group E, we have DR Congo represented by Zion Melina, Belarus represented by Andre, Saudi Arabia represented by Hamlet and Diamond, and Equatorial Guinea represented by Bruv Come On. And in Group F, we have a double entry for Oman, which is S9 Sliver and Sean Lamont Tiger. UAE represented by Miss Video Games, Norway represented by Ryubix, and Honduras is a double entry represented by Wander Over Yonder Fan and Cuthbert McVeigh. In Group G, we have Yemen represented by Mr. Vinny. Canada was also a triple entry between Cutter Historical, Kleptrep, and Wolf. Antigua was also a double entry between Sane, TY Dylan Fan, and Amazing Gaming. Uzbekistan was represented by Mario Marquin. And finally, in Group H, we have Armenia represented by Monster Jam Roblox, Ethiopia represented by Liquid and Nissa Life, I hope I said that right, Suriname represented by Fintan and Lionel Messi, and North Korea is also a double entry represented by Ryan Bromhead and Elite Nelson Official. There are also 16 players waiting to play in the second chance Subscriber World Cup, so let's get into it. Alright then, so we do this part really quickly on camera, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay then guys, so this is your tournament group stage after we have simulated the whole entire group stages. So you all know who you are. So in Group A, Bolivia and Georgia go through in that one. And in Group B, we have Botswana going through with 9 points, which is quite impressive. And Iraq going through as well with 4 points. In Group C, we have Macedonia and Latvia going through in that one. And in Group D, we have Paraguay and Cape Verde Islands going through. In Group E, it was a bit closer with Saudi Arabia and Belarus going through. Congo DR missing out by 1 point. In Group F, Oman and Honduras go through. UAE and Norway missing out by 1 point. In Group G, we have Uzbekistan and Yemen somehow going through in that group, with Canada getting grouped and Antigua and Barbuda as well. And in Group H, we have Armenia going through with North Korea triumphing for that second place spot, which sets up a round of 16 for Bolivia versus Iraq. We have Macedonia versus Cape Verde Islands, Botswana versus Georgia, Paraguay versus Latvia, Honduras versus Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan versus North Korea, Oman versus Belarus, and Armenia versus Yemen. Alright then, so this is the part where we do it as we go along, you know, live and everything like that, because it's a lot easier and a bit more suspenseful. So Bolivia versus Iraq and Macedonia versus Cape Verde Islands. Let's simulate those two and find out what happens. Let's see. Bolivia beat Iraq by 3-0, and Macedonia Cape Verde Islands, that was a 2-1 to Macedonia. Okay, cool. So that's 2 matches done already. Next up, we have Botswana versus Georgia and Paraguay versus Latvia. Simulate those two. And then we have Botswana beating Georgia by 1-0. Botswana seem to be on a dream run so far. And next up, Paraguay versus Latvia. What's that going to be? 2-0 to Paraguay. Okay, cool. Next up, we have Saudi Arabia versus Honduras and Uzbekistan versus North Korea. Okay, let's simulate those two. Honduras beats Saudi Arabia by a 1 goal, and Uzbekistan versus North Korea will be a win for, let's see. Oh, Uzbekistan just edged it by 2-1. Okay, next up we have Oman versus Belarus and Armenia versus Yemen. Let's see those two. We have Belarus beating Oman by 3-2. So great win by Belarus. Next up, Armenia versus Yemen. Simulate that one. And it was a 5-0 to Armenia. Wow, absolutely blew them away. So next up, your quarterfinals, we have Honduras versus Uzbekistan and Bolivia versus Macedonia. Let's see who comes out on top between those two. Uzbekistan beat Honduras by 1-0. And next up, Bolivia versus Macedonia. That will be a 3-3. We don't know yet. 3-3, but we don't know yet. That'll be interesting to see who goes through in that one. Next up, we have Belarus versus Armenia and Botswana versus Paraguay. So let's simulate Belarus versus Armenia first. That was a 1-0 to Armenia. Wow, Armenia looking strong. Can Botswana carry on their dream run in the Subscriber World Cup? Let's see. And it is, oh my god, Paraguay just got eliminated. How did Botswana beat Paraguay 2-1? That is absolutely insane. How are Botswana so good? They're like a 1-star team. Wow, whoever picked Botswana, what a pick that was. Well, currently, you've still got a couple more games left. But next up, we have Bolivia versus Uzbekistan in your semi-final and Armenia versus Botswana. Okay, so who will come out on top against Bolivia and Uzbekistan? Let's see. It was a 3-2 to Uzbekistan. So Uzbekistan are finalists for your Subscriber World Cup. And next up, we have Botswana versus Armenia. Let's see then. I mean, both of these sides have been doing very well. Let's see who can go through. Oh my god. Botswana just beat Armenia by 2-1. Botswana are sick on this game. Like, they're actually sick. Okay, well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that much because they beat Paraguay in the previous round. So your third place playoff is between Bolivia and Armenia. Simulate that one. And that is Bolivia winning, I believe, on... well, it was 3-3. It's either extra time or penalties. I imagine it's penalties. This is your final tournament tree for the first Subscriber World Cup. And you all know who you are, but I will read out who won the third place playoff. So Bolivia won the third place playoff. That was John's Casa. Well done. You came third in that one. Penalty shootout over Armenia. Tough game. And congratulations or commiserations to fourth place Armenia. That was Monster Jam Roblox. Unlucky or congratulations, however way you see it. But next up, we have to watch a World Cup final between Uzbekistan and Botswana. It's going to be really, really cool. So here we go then, the final of your December 1st Subscriber World Cup is Uzbekistan versus Botswana. Very, very random final, but I love it. Just to let you know, I'm not in control. Obviously, if you are new around here, we just watch it and I post the highlights of the match. So, good luck to whoever's in this final, and let's get into it. Well, I'm going to be honest, guys. That was one of the worst finals I've ever sat through. I'm not joking. There's no stats at the moment because it's gone straight to penalties from extra time. But I kid you not, there were no shots for either of these teams. That is just so bad. But thankfully, we're here at the penalty shootout and we can actually finally get some action. Come on then. Uzbekistan, first penalty, Japarov, and he puts it in for 1-0 to Uzbekistan on penalties. Next up is Mofla Blankwe. He puts it in for 1-1. Alright, okay. Next up is Shatshik. Can he do it for Uzbekistan? Oh, it's saved by the Botswanan keeper. Alright, next up is Mogrosi. Come on. Oh my goodness. He just sent that out the stadium. Okay, both sides have missed it. Amadov now. Still 1-1, and now it's 2-1 on penalties to Uzbekistan. Next up is Rama Flakwane. He puts it down the middle. Easily done there, and that's 2-2. Next up is Turnsunov. He stutters, and he puts it in. Alright, fair play. It can be dangerous to stutter like that. Next up is Malloy. And he puts it in the same exact side as he does from the Uzbekistan keeper. Ismailov steps up and off the bar. Uzbekistan have missed, and now Botswana could take it. They could take it with this penalty. It's Ngele. He's putting a lot of power on that. He's sent it over the bar. These sides are copying each other at the moment. Gadoev. Next up for Uzbekistan. And it's in. What a penalty that was. That was nicely done. Next up, Botswana need to score this one. It is Mongala. Can he save his nation from elimination in the final? He can. It's, I don't know what it is now. I think it's like 5-5 or something like that. No, 4-4. Sorry, 4-4. Kansanov. It's saved by the Botswana keeper. He just caught it. It was so powerful, but he just caught it. What an absolute unit. It's Nato. Can he do it for Botswana? Can he do it? Oh my goodness. These sides are so bad. Oh my goodness. Alright, Botswana have missed another one. Denisov for Uzbekistan. He puts it in. And is that it? No, it's not. The celebration put me off there. Next up is Botswana. They need to score in order to stay in this. Olareli, or however you pronounce it. Oh my goodness, off the post. And Uzbekistan are your Subscriber World Cup champions. So the final was super boring up until the penalty shootout. And honestly, the penalty shootout was comical, to say the least, between these two. But your champion for December on your first Subscriber World Cup is Mario Maraquin, representing Uzbekistan. Congratulations to you. You have come first in the December Subscriber World Cup. And also congratulations to the person who picked Botswana. That was McDamon. I hope I said that correctly. McDamon. He has come second. What a run with Botswana. It's just obviously you just couldn't get it done on penalties, unfortunately. But still, second place with Botswana is really impressive. Let's go to your second chance Subscriber World Cup. Before we go there, I'm not lying. Look, I wasn't lying about the shots. How do you get a game that goes 120 minutes and no side has a shot? Like, it's mental. Alright then guys, so this is your second chance Subscriber World Cup. So the 16 teams that got eliminated from the first round go into this one. And then we got 16 new players joining you guys in this one. So let me just read out the 16 new players. So Cuba is represented by Visser Barker. Lesotho is represented by Lahav Soto. Ireland is represented by Wasabi and Really Edits TM. Northern Ireland is represented by, oh, let me get this right, Algicosaphalon on Algadu. I don't really know that. Strawberry Lemonade and Football Finley. US Virgin Islands is represented by Juanita TV. Comoros is represented by LXD. Barbados is represented by Arsenal Ball. Malta is represented by Malta Ball. Eswatini or Swaziland is represented by Matson. Guatemala is represented by Joseph Christian. Vietnam is represented by Delu. Uganda represented by Epsi, Panama represented by CR7 Fan, Liechtenstein represented by Madman E, Puerto Rico represented by AI4106, and Finland is represented by Olympic Games LA 2028. Alright then, so you know the drill, we do this bit really quickly, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay then guys, so this is your group stage for your finished second chance subscriber World Cup. Let's just read out the people that got through. So Syria and Northern Ireland go through in Group A. In Group B, Vietnam and Canada go through in Group B. Group C is Guatemala and Honduras going through together. In Group D, Panama and Antigua and Barbuda go through. In that one, New Zealand getting grouped in that group. In Group E, Norway and Ireland go through in that one. Group F, Finland and the UAE go through. In Group G, it was Hong Kong and Malta going through. El Salvador getting grouped in that one. And in Group H, we have Equatorial Guinea going through top of that one, with Bulgaria going through with them, which sets up a round of 16 like this. We have Syria versus Canada, and then we got Guatemala versus Antigua, Vietnam versus Northern Ireland, Panama versus Honduras, we have Norway versus the UAE, Hong Kong versus Bulgaria, Finland versus Ireland, and Equatorial Guinea versus Malta. Alright then, so your first round of 16 match is Syria versus Canada and Guatemala versus Antigua. Let's simulate those two and find out who wins. It will be a 1-0 to Syria. Wow, okay. And Guatemala have beaten Antigua by 2-1. Next up we have Northern Ireland versus Vietnam and Panama versus Honduras. Simulate those two. Northern Ireland beat Vietnam 2-0. And then next up, Panama, Honduras. That was a 2-0 to Honduras. In the next game, we have UAE versus Norway and Hong Kong versus Bulgaria. Simulate that one. Norway beat the UAE 2-1 and Hong Kong, Bulgaria finished 3-0 to Bulgaria. Next up, in the round of 16, we have Finland versus Ireland and Equatorial Guinea versus Malta. So, that's advanced, and Ireland have beaten Finland by 1-0, and Equatorial Guinea beat Malta by 2-1. Right, your quarterfinals then are shaping up. We have Norway versus Bulgaria and Syria versus Guatemala. So, let's simulate that one. Bulgaria beat Norway by 1-0, and Syria and Guatemala drew 1-1, so we won't know until we go to the semi-final who got through. Next up we have Ireland versus Equatorial Guinea and Northern Ireland versus Honduras. So let's see who will go through in those two games. Ireland beat Equatorial Guinea by 2-0. Then we got Northern Ireland versus Honduras. That would be I think it was Honduras, yes, by 3-1. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, next up then in the semi-final, we have Guatemala versus Bulgaria and Honduras versus Ireland. Okay, shaping up to be a nice second chance subscriber World Cup here. So the first game in the semi-final, Guatemala versus Bulgaria, simulate that one. And that would be a 2-0 to Bulgaria, so Bulgaria have got to the final. And next up we have Honduras versus Ireland. Who will go through in that one? Simulate and find out. It was Ireland by 2-1. So we have a Bulgaria versus Ireland final. We have Guatemala versus Honduras. Quite a cool game to have in a third place playoff. So let's simulate that game and see what happens. It was a 1-0 to Guatemala. Okay, so let me go back to your tournament tree before we watch this final. There's all your results right there. You can look at them and like study them if you want to, but we're only interested in the top 4. Guatemala was represented by Joseph Christian. Well done, you came 3rd with Guatemala. Well done indeed. Honduras was I think it was 2 people. Yes, it was. Honduras was represented by Cuthbert McVeigh and Wander Over Yonder fan. So you both come 4th in your second chance Subscriber World Cup. Next up though, and the final match of this Subscriber World Cup will be Bulgaria versus Ireland. Here we go then. The second chance Subscriber World Cup final between Bulgaria and Ireland is ready to go. Hopefully it's a more interesting final than the Botswana-Uzbekistan final, although the penalty shootout was quite funny. Bulgaria pushing through on goal here, and what a save. Again, it's another match where both of the teams are decently well matched up, you know, and they're not really doing an awful lot to help themselves to score. This looks like a final that's probably gonna have to be settled on penalties, to be honest. It's just another dead game where there has been shots, like 2 of them, but still. So another final that ends 0-0. There were shots, only like a couple, but there were shots, but these 2 finals have been very poor. So Bulgaria step up for their first penalty. Popov puts it in for 1-0. Alright, can Ireland respond? It's Cox with the penalty. And yeah, okay, smashed in. That's 1-1 on penalties then. Gargorov with the first penalty, second penalty I should say actually, and he puts it in. Nice one. Alright, Walters with the penalty for Ireland, the second penalty, and it's in. Okay, perfect so far. And Iliev puts it in. Nice one. 3 out of 3 for Bulgaria. Can Ireland make it 3 out of 3? Whelan. Yes, he can. Alright. Okay, these 2 are doing well so far. Manolev with the 4th penalty for Bulgaria. And yeah, 4 out of 4. Great penalties. Here comes McLean for Ireland. Down the middle. Okay, cool. 4-4. And Bodorov for Bulgaria. Can they make it 5 out of 5? Oh, that is so cheeky, but yeah, they can. I mean, that's some of the best penalties I've ever seen. Alright, Ireland now with Clark. He needs to score, otherwise they get eliminated. Clark, yes, both teams have been perfect so far. And it's Milanov with the 6th penalty. Down the middle again. Bulgaria, perfect. And it's Salmon with the next penalty for Republic of Ireland. It's saved! Bulgaria saved it! The goalkeeper has made Bulgaria win the Subscriber World Cup, the second chance Subscriber World Cup. And Bulgaria were excellent in that penalty shootout. And congratulations to our winner for the second chance Subscriber World Cup. It's Velko. Well done. Well done. You beat Ireland on penalties, and Bulgaria are your second chance Subscriber World Cup champions. And commiserations to the other finalist who got here and lost on penalties. That was Republic of Ireland, represented by Really Edits TN and Wasabi 1982-1. So yeah, that was a great Subscriber World Cup. The end of the year is here, and I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for everyone who has participated over the year. I'm sorry that I can't do one in January. You know, I am away, so I won't be able to take my Xbox and recording equipment with me, sadly. But you know, sometimes it's good to have a little break and come back stronger in February or March. So yeah, again, thank you so much for playing, every single one of you. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one and your 11 other Subscriber World Cups that we've done throughout the year. And if you did enjoy this one, then please give it a like and subscribe. Keep it local as always, and I'll see you again for the next video.